Leonard Brakes was a 42-year-old mechanic from a small town in Iowa. He lived a predictable life. He worked in a small garage, fixed cars, and knew almost everyone in town. He didn't travel often, didn't chase excitement, and preferred quiet evenings at home. One day, he received a simple offer from a customer. A man needed his old pickup truck delivered to Colorado. Nothing complicated, just a long drive across the Midwest. Leonard agreed without hesitation. He left before sunrise. The town was still asleep, the streets empty, and the air cool and fresh. The highway stretched far ahead, calm and silent. Leonard enjoyed these first hours of the trip. The morning light grew brighter, the sky became clear, and the road rolled smoothly under the tires. By late morning, the sun was high, and the landscape changed from flat fields to distant hills. Leonard stopped at a gas station for a coffee, nodded to a few strangers, refilled the tank, and continued driving. Everything felt easy and uneventful. But a few hours later, something unusual caught his attention. A piece of dark fabric stuck out from the gap of the truck bed cover. It wasn't there before. Leonard pulled over on a wide stretch of roadside. He opened the lid. Inside sat a teenage boy, about 16. His hands were tied, and his clothes were dusty and wrinkled. The boy looked exhausted and barely able to speak. He said his name was Sam. He explained that two men had taken him, forced him into the truck bed, and sold the pickup to a new driver, to Leonard, before he could be found. Leonard helped Sam into the passenger seat. He gave him a bottle of water and started driving again. For a few minutes the road remained quiet, and nothing disturbed the peaceful sound of the engine. Then Sam looked behind them. A black SUV appeared on the horizon. It was approaching quickly, closing the distance with every second. Leonard kept driving. The SUV followed, staying on the same lane. The speed increased. The pressure grew. The old pickup was not made for fast driving, and the engine began to strain. The highway ahead split into two lanes. A large sign pointed toward a mountain route that led around a canyon. The pickup took the turn. The new road twisted and climbed upward between rocky walls. The air changed. The temperature dropped slightly. The pavement narrowed, and turns became sharper. The black SUV remained behind them, still following. The pickup's engine hummed loudly. The vehicle trembled on every bend. Sam held onto the seatbelt. The SUV gained speed on the straight sections, but slowed at the corners. The climb became steeper. Rocks lay scattered near the edges. Leonard kept a steady pace, guiding the pickup between tight curves. The canyon opened on the right side, deep and wide. On one of the sharpest bends, the SUV skidded. Its tires screeched. The back wheels lost grip. The vehicle slid sideways and struck the rock wall. A moment later, it tipped over the edge and disappeared from sight. The road became silent again. No other cars followed. The mountain stood motionless on both sides. Leonard continued driving until he reached a wider section where the road leveled out. Farther ahead, he spotted a small town. A gas station, a few houses, and a police station near the center. Sam walked inside with Leonard. The officers listened to his story and immediately took action. Phone calls were made. Reports were filed. Sam's parents were contacted and told that he had been found alive. Leonard sat in the lobby for a while. He drank water, answered questions, and explained everything that happened on the road. Sam eventually left with the officers for medical checkups and to wait for his family. Leonard booked a room in a small roadside motel. The day had been long, and he needed rest. The room was simple. One bed, a wooden desk, a small lamp, and a window facing the quiet street. He lay down, closed his eyes, and let the silence settle around him. The next morning he packed his things and checked out. As he walked to his car, his phone rang. It was Sam's mother. Her voice was calm but emotional. She thanked Leonard for helping her son. She told him her family would always remember what he had done. Leonard didn't know how to respond at first. He said he was glad Sam was safe and wished them well. Then he continued his trip home. The highway felt different this time. The fields, the hills, the long stretches of open road, everything seemed quieter. The journey no longer felt like a simple delivery job. It carried weight now. It carried meaning. When Leonard arrived back in Iowa, he parked the pickup by the garage and looked at it for a long moment. Nothing on the outside suggested what had happened. It was the same old truck. But the story behind it was no longer simple. Leonard returned to his usual life. He repaired cars, greeted customers, and lived the same quiet routine. But something inside him felt changed. Not dramatically, just enough to notice. He still considered himself an ordinary man. Yet he now carried a memory that would never disappear. A memory of a boy who needed help. A memory of a road that tested him. A memory of a moment when an ordinary mechanic became the reason someone survived. Sometimes the road brings more than miles or scenery. Sometimes it brings a story that stays with you forever.